How about the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson? You know, last year it seemed like I was making one of these videos every week where Lamar Jackson goes off, has this ridiculous day, beats a bad team by a million, and then doesn't even play much of the fourth quarter. So it's fun to do another one. He's awesome to watch when he's on, and this entire offense is rolling right now. Like this one. This is a play that I've broken down plenty of these types of plays before, but I find them very interesting. I find them fun, and really no other team does this the way Baltimore does, where it's actually Lamar's just going to hand the ball off here, but him just being in the game does have a pretty big impact. So he's going to hand the ball off and then run to his right, and then he's handing the ball off to Dobbins, who's in motion. So he's not in the backfield, but he's going to be getting the ball. He runs up to Lamar's left. You also have the player who's in the backfield. He can lead block for Dobbins. That's the way this play works. I've circled a Jaguars defender. I've circled an edge rusher, and that's because he's not getting blocked on this play. This is the part that no other team does except for Baltimore, which is they can leave an edge rusher unblocked right there because they're basically just relying on this play is going to go quickly enough that he's not going to be able to figure out what's going on. And they do it so well that it almost always works out this way. Watch how the edge rusher runs in. See that how he steps in at first? Because, again, not exactly sure where the run's going to be. Could be a quarterback run, which would be, to Lamar's right, but also sort of up the middle. So he would have to try and get into that play. But now you see Dobbins, he has a window where he can try and get through and get a touchdown here. There's a fullback in front of him who could lead block. And the way it's supposed to work is he just runs up to the top of the screen. But as you see, he's kind of in an awkward position right now. I think that the fact that the edge rusher did run in so quickly is a bit of an issue. But again, speed is everything, and you can talk all you want about X's and O's, but sometimes you're just faster than the other player, and that's all that matters. Dobbins rushes in, he gets a touchdown just like that, because that's what the Ravens do. They score touchdowns in that situation. They're really good at this, and they can do it consistently. Let's talk about this one. Why? Because Dez Bryant caught a touchdown in the NFL. Yes, Dez Bryant, throw up the X, very fun stuff. Here's how the play worked. So, it's going to be to Lamar's left. You have two receivers. Bryant's the one who's closest to the sideline. They're both going to be running deep, and this is zone coverage. So the other receiver who's running deep is going to pull away the defensive back who is deep in this scenario in the back of the end zone. So there will be kind of a bubble where Bryant can make the play. There's going to be no one else who's in charge of covering the actual part of the end zone, so he could potentially get sort of in that corner area and get a touchdown. A way this play wouldn't work would be if one of the Jaguars' defensive backs or defensive players who's covering the middle of the field notices it. They could then sort of abandon that area to run deep and take away Bryant, which would be the correct decision on this play. But watch how Bryant's going to create a little bit of contact here. Not enough that draws a flag. There was some contact, but it was kind of both guys starting to contact, and Bryant was just stronger, so it's hard to really throw a flag on him because they both tried to create contact there. Bryant was just stronger, and so good job by him. And if he did it too hard, it probably would have been a flag. So, kind of the perfect amount of contact to create there past a yard of the line of scrimmage. And now he's clearly open. The only issue is Lamar just isn't looking in that direction, which, again, it's football. It happens. I think sometimes people freak out too much when a quarterback isn't looking in the right direction of an open player, because sometimes that's just not where their first read was, and it's understandable. But in this scenario, that's kind of unfortunate for Bryant because he did get open. As you see, he's waving his hand, but Lamar just doesn't see him just yet. The nice thing on this play, though, is that it's only a three-man rush. So Lamar Jackson, already great at creating time. He's one of the best scrambling quarterbacks there is, not just design runs. He can scramble with the best of them. And on top of this, there's only three guys he has to worry about, so that just makes things a little bit easier for him. So as you see, when containment is given up, he runs outside the pocket, eventually finds Bryant, because there still was that bubble. He was eventually able to, stay open for a really long period of that play. I mean, how much of that play was he open for? Just incredible job by him. Really good play. And if Dez Bryant can be a solid receiver for the Ravens, that would be huge because they could use another sure-handed guy, and he could potentially be that for Baltimore. But speaking of receivers who can step up, how about Marquise Brown? Having a really good day, and he's had such an up and down career. Obviously, no game was more up and down for him than the Monday Night Football game where he drops 3 passes but then catches a crucial 4th down touchdown play. He had a couple good plays on this one, none bigger than this one. It's man coverage, there's only going to be one safety deep, so go routes towards the sideline, outside the numbers, can work out really well. Lamar is going to look in that direction. One of the underrated things about Lamar is he does have a great deep ball. Sometimes he struggles with the touch on it a little bit, but he definitely can throw the ball a mile, and he can take advantage of that on a play like this, where Brown gets cleanly off the line. The defensive back covering him tried to create contact and failed, and now you see Brown is just faster, so he has this separation right here. The safety wasn't able to get over because of Brown's speed, and again, Lamar has a big arm, so he can still get it there, and that's kind of what I think Baltimore was hoping for when they went out and drafted Marquise Brown. This is going to be just a perfect throw. Brown gets a huge completion, so yeah, I mean, again, if Brown can start stepping up, if Bryant can start stepping up, this can turn an already great offense into something really special, and maybe we could see even more complete of an offense than we saw last year, although probably not quite as effective because last year's was historically great. But yeah, one more play I want to show. This is just a traditional Lamar Jackson run, but these are fun too, where what's going to happen is you're going to have an edge rusher and a linebacker unblocked, and the rush is going to be going to that side, but they're not actually unblocked. They're unblocked at the beginning, then the left guard and left tackle pull around and block them. So eventually there should be a gap, and not a lot of teams do this, and no one does this as well as the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are great at these types of blocks, and they're going to do it again here. I mean, as you see, Lamar takes the snap, and he's going to start running, and look at that window. There's just such a wide open gap. This is a 3rd down and 3, and Lamar Jackson can get past the first down marker completely untouched. That's just what this Ravens offense can do, and obviously Lamar is great, but this offensive line has been playing really good these past few weeks as well, despite, obviously the big injury to Ronnie Staley. They've still been pretty good, which is definitely good to see for Baltimore. Lamar continues running. He's going to be able to pick up a good amount of ground in open space before finally going out of bounds. Just good job by him. I mean, yeah, he's great in open space. We all know that. But another good win for the Baltimore Ravens, and they're continuing to cruise here. This was a huge blowout win, and while it was against a one-win Jaguars team, that one-win Jaguars team has been competitive against some good teams, such as Green Bay, so it's definitely good to see them completely just blow out Jacksonville. All Baltimore has to do is beat the Giants and Bengals, and they will probably get in. I mean, those 2 wins, they need basically a loss from either the Browns, the Colts, or the Dolphins, and they only would need 1 loss from one of those teams, so seems likely they'll probably get in, but you never know. So, yeah, they definitely need to win to make sure they get in, though, and I think they will, given what they showed these past couple of weeks. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.